one of the many things that I discuss with my clients is the fact that life is hard enough as it is. We don't need to be going out of our way to facilitate life being any harder by our own stupidity. When it comes down to really getting out of any funk, whether it's depression or anxiety or anything that's keeping you from truly living your life, that comes down at the end of the day to creating a purpose, which at the end of the day comes down to deciding what your responsibility is in the world. You know, there's a reason why most self-help is made up of entrepreneurial leadership skills. And that's because that everything it takes to become a leader is really what it takes to help yourself in the world at large. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to become a jack of all trades in that sense. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of a sudden you're going to become good at anything. It's more about recognizing what it takes to recognize within yourself what you are capable of, recognizing in others how we can all coexist, and the willingness to sort of face rejection swiftly and quickly. Because at the end of the day, a quick death is, in any regards, the least painful. So when we find ourselves wallowing in our depressions and anxieties, we are really just allowing ourselves to experience a very slow death, and maybe over and over and over again, when we could in fact stop and recognize that by just killing off any of those things that you were doing, any of those influences that were causing you to feel that depression or anxiety and moving on to new things, you could get that quick death that, because whatever you're doing clearly isn't working, since you are experiencing regular things like anxiety and depression, and moving forward to better, as I say. So what makes an entrepreneur of any kind good at what they do is not so much that they can instantly have success, so much as they've learned how to, through trial and error, because they are willing to try and make mistakes, have that quick death over and over and over again, knowing that they are going to be comfortable trying, because they know that instead of being anxious or too scared to try, they recognize that they will come out of whatever it may be that they're trying relatively unscathed, unharmed for certain, and more importantly, they've also learned, and this is a big one, how to recognize when they figure out what's wrong by making a mistake, what that points to in the direction of what's right, so that they can make less and less mistakes. Which is, again, not to say that they don't make a ton of mistakes. Entrepreneurs and people in the business world and leaders in general, it's not that they're not making mistakes. It's that they are willing to try and try and try over and over and over again and get back up again quickly, so that the death is quick in that sense, and that they are immediately moving on to new things rather than dwelling in their mistake, dwelling and wallowing in the death of whatever it is they were doing, but just being like, all right, nope, that didn't work, let's move on. So at the end of the day, because everything is a choice, we need to recognize, as I was saying in the beginning, that we don't need to make life any harder for ourselves through anything, really, whether it be through one's own stupidity or whatever it may be that is keeping you in your cycle of suffering. We always, every day, have an opportunity to start over, start fresh. Stop and take the time to ask yourself, what is it I'm not getting here? What is it that I'm doing that isn't working? And how can I remove it? How can I change it or replace it? What could I be doing differently to make things happier and healthier overall? And really at the end of the day, and this is one of my latest posts, the secret sauce, the secret to, whether it's the practical application of things or the spiritual application of things, the secret to magic, the secret to the law of attraction, the secret is let it go. And I talk about this in love all the time. Everyone always says when you're searching for a relationship, that's when you're never going to find a relationship. But if you are willing to let go of the idea that you are missing something in your life, that's when it'll come find you. That is the ultimate secret. We need to let go of our wants and focus on building the self, and that is what is going to get you to a happier, healthier place, really. Everything else comes along with it, because once you are whole with yourself, you can then naturally attract all of those other things. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for another video. May the energy you serve you well, and let's keep making our way through.